These rappers are embarrassing themselves. This is another video about botted streams, I assume, because it's DDG, and then there's French Montana, who, oh my god, if you ever heard about this on Twitter, basically he listed a pre-order for his album for like vinyls for his fans, and then I think he sent out a bunch of vinyls to different addresses, or at least sent out confirmations just so he could count it. And then eventually Billboard, the first week sales, was like, we ain't doing that. And then he ended up selling like dog shit. But we already knew French Montana was fucking trash in the first place. Like, I don't get. I had a friend in college who was obsessed with him, who even like his Instagram name was something Montana. And I'm like, what is the appeal? How did this dude even get famous? His hit song with billions of streams, he bought off of Sway Lee. Like, where is his personal talent?
YouTube, it's just as I used to be paying. Today I'm back with another video, and in this video I'm going to talk about the most embarrassing thing that rappers are doing nowadays. But before I get into that, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, because it helps me out a ton. As music has become more streaming based, a lot of artists are trying to find ways to increasingly make more money, because there's been a lot of conversations about streaming not really paying that well, or streaming not paying as well as the artists think it should. There's been a lot of conversations.
Facts. But I don't know how we can solve that, because people just don't buy albums because Spotify took over, disrupted the entire industry, and now people don't really buy albums or merch or whatever because it's already free. Basically, you just pay $10-15 per month and then you have every song at your disposal. So I don't know how artists are gonna make their bag. I think it's either shows, but most artists can't sell shows because people don't want to buy tickets anymore either, because they can just be chilling at the crib watching music videos on their TV. That's why some artists like resorting to streaming. I feel like once artists figure out that there's not a lot of money in this shit, they just dip from the industry, because they're like, damn. Like, I know a lot of artists like that who were like a little poppin' in 2017, 2018. I'm not talking about like Lil Skies or Juice WRLD level, but you know, they got a little bag and then they're like, you know what, this shit it don't pay. You can have jobs paying way more.
About CDs and radio play back in the day paying way more than the streaming services do now. Even somebody like Snoop Dogg famously complained that he had like 1 billion streams and that paid out to $45,000. So there's been a lot of conversations about this, and obviously in order to make more money off of streaming, you need more streams. So everyone's been trying to figure out how to get more streams. But as of recently, rappers have just gotten super ridiculous in their methods of getting more streams. Streaming is the dominant way that music is platformed and listened to, and it's still like relatively new, and people are...
I think the way is they got to get up with the label, as in their streams up, and then just use that as marketing, but then sell something else on the side, whether that is being a content creator or fire merch or shows. Like, you got to find your way of doing things. Like, Cardi could basically do anything he wants now, even though his streams might not be crazy. He might not be making, although they are, but like, he might not be making crazy money off streams. The label is, though. Like, now he can sell merch and selling out instantly, or like tickets to shows, tours. But I'm trying to figure out like a good example. You just got to figure out another way. The streams are just the marketing. The labels are the only people who are making money off that shit, because they know the methods of botting and playlisting.
Looking at this puzzle, trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how to play it. And the top method that has kind of come from this is the quantity.
Rappers need to start a union. I don't know if that would even be a thing, bro. You know how self-centered artists are. They don't want to help each other. Also, like, a lot of these artists come from, you know, poor backgrounds, the hood. So whenever a label's like, here's $100K advance right there, take it, but we're going to make $1 million off you, at least. It's like hard for them to say no, because it's just better than whatever situation they were in before, or from the stream income that they're getting through DistroKid or independently.
Method. And what I mean by that is literally just dropping as much as possible to give yourself the most opportunities possible to get the most streams possible. For example, if I'm an artist and I'm about to drop a 15-song album, instead I'm going to drop a 25-song album to give myself more opportunity to get more streams. Now, some of those songs that are going to end up on the 25-song album probably wouldn't have been there if this was only dropped on CD or iTunes, where everyone had to buy it regardless. But because it's on streaming services, I'm going to throw a couple of them extra songs on there. Or even when it comes to dropping singles, for example, look at somebody like
That's why I think deluxe albums suck nowadays, because people are just using it as a cash grab. to get first week sales. I think it was better. It's better if you drop a deluxe months or weeks after, because then you know that the artist just wants to continue on with the creative process of the last album or last concept, and they're not doing it for the first week sales. You know what I mean? Like with what, I don't know, Osama did with Flextra. He wasn't trying to do first week sales. He just wanted to drop like some more shit for people.
T from the City Girls. She just recently dropped a single not that long ago called Sideways. So when you went to go download Sideways, when you went to go play Sideways, when you found it on...
How do rappers live off 100K? Because, well, when you're a rapper too, you get a lot of free shit. Like people want you to, like, think about all the fans who are, I'm not saying they do this, but like just hypothetically, think about how the fans would want a rapper to stay with them, or like hotels, maybe if you're a big enough rapper, want you to stay there for free and like post an Instagram story. Like you can use the clout as leverage to do free shit, or like buy or have a rental car, that kind of thing, just for a free post. So that's how they live off 100K. Also, they just spend their money, and that's why they go broke in like 2 years buying Balenciaga or whatever.
On her page on Apple Music or Spotify, when you clicked on it and downloaded it, not only did Sideways come with it, but the song No Bars came with it as well, which is already a much bigger song, a song that everybody already likes, but you pair it with that new song in order to run up the streams for that new song. So everyone's been trying to put together this quantity.
The labels, man, they're ruining this shit. I doubt JT knew that was happening. Whenever artists get exposed for doing that, it's the label.
You can even look at somebody like Taylor Swift. What happens when she re-releases her music? Now, obviously, there's a whole backstory with that. It's not just Taylor Swift just re-releasing music. It's not that simple, but you can see that this quantity method is real and everyone is using it. And this is a thing that's been happening for a while now, but this weekend, it just got to a point where it was just ridiculous.
Oh, also another way these artists live off 100K is that they get that 100K from the label. Then they like sell features and shit like that. Say like your Yapo JJ, you can sell a feature for like what, a couple racks, and then you do a few of those a month and you're good. You can make another 100K off that per year.
Couldn't ignore it anymore. I just had to say something. And that was with French Montana's release of his newest album, Mac and Cheese 5. Now, I have not listened to the album. I have nothing to say about the quality of the album. I don't know. It might be the best album that's ever been released ever. I'm not that big of a French fan.
Facts. I haven't listened to any of that, bro. Didn't he drop like 60 versions of that shit? Or like 6 at least?
I doubt it, but who knows? But French Montana not only dropped Mac and Cheese 5, but he dropped Mac and Cheese 5 acapella version. He dropped Mac and Cheese 5 slowed version. He dropped Mac and Cheese 5 sped up version. He dropped Mac and Cheese 5 instrumental.
You know what's the worst? When, I don't know who else has done this, but when you have an album that you dropped and then you list a song that was released like 3 years ago that was a hit, and they put that on the album afterwards on the track list on Spotify and Apple Music, so that it kind of like recommends after that listen that you listen to that song, because Spotify has the little recommendation thing on the shuffle, and then it goes to that album. Or like when they click on the song on their profile, you're listening to the album version, so then it like the next track is the album. So it's like there's so many little cheap ways of getting extra streams. It's sad, honestly. These fucking artists, these labels though. The labels are the ones who are just making everybody look bad.
He dropped Mac and Cheese 5 acapella, and then he dropped Mac and Cheese 5 versions, which is literally every version that I just listed put together on one album for a runtime of 6 hours. And this is just a sad act, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it feels like you are begging for streams, like begging for streams, like you're in SpongeBob playing the smallest violin in the world. Bro, please, bro, let me get an extra stream, bro. I even put the slow version. Y'all like the sped up version, right? Y'all kids like the sped up version, right? I got the acapella. You want that? Like, it feels like you are panhandling on the street, shaking a cup for streams. This is the where my hug at version of streams. This is the whole like you getting in the shower without me version of streams. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, it just feels like you're begging. And I blame DDG for this. Now, this is a joke, but it's not a joke at the same time, because DDG probably is not the first person to do this, but he's the first person I ever saw drop a song with 7 different versions. When he had the song I'm Geeking, he had the slow, the sped up, the nightcore, he had like, bro, he was going crazy when it came to like dropping I'm Geeking songs. So I blame DDG for this unironically. Now I'm gonna be real, this doesn't really affect me too much as a listener, because I can just go in there and listen to what I want to listen to. I'm not gonna play the slowed, sped up, nightcore, reverse, chopped and screwed version of the song. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I can just listen to what I listen to and leave. But it's just like a bad look, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Do y'all even listen to the sped up and acapella and whatever versions? Because I've never listened to a sped up version at all. I feel like that came from TikTok, right? The sped up versions. Does that also add to the streams? Let me see. I think it does. French Montana. I'm gonna check right now for y'all. Albums. All right, we got sped up. The sped up version of Dirty Bronx intro got 6,000. Let's go to the regular one. How does that one have more streams than the actual version? Okay, Stand United, I mean, got 880K. And then sped up Stand United 12K. Okay. So it doesn't count towards the song. So you know that this shit don't even make sense. If it counted to the same ISRC code, which means like where they congregate all of the streams, then that would make sense to me. Kind of like what they did with Lucid Dreams and Lucid Dreams Remix. Like I think the remix and the regular song technically have the same streams.
It's a bad look. Like, we all see what you're trying to do, bro. We all see what you're trying to do. And honestly, if your song isn't trending on TikTok, slow down, or it isn't trending on TikTok, sped up, you don't need to drop those versions of the song, bro. It just feels like you're begging. You just don't need to. It just looks kind of weird. Now, certain songs have blown up on TikTok with a sped up version, so I get it. But not every song has done that. It just kind of feels a little bit desperate. It feels like you're begging for some streams. And I know that I'm talking about French Montana in this video, and that's kind of what set this video off for me, but he's not the only one that does it. There are other big artists that do it as well. I've seen Gunna do it. I've seen Nicki Minaj do it. I've seen Lotto do it. So he's not the only one, but it's just like, come on now, dog. Like, his explanation for it, his explanation for dropping an 126 track album with 6 hours worth of listening time was, well, people always ask me for different versions of my songs, so I just dropped like all the Stop it, bro. No, bro, I don't believe you, bro. You're telling me legions of people were asking for your album sped up? It just dropped. You didn't even give them a chance to ask for the music yet. Now, I will say this, dropping an instrumental version, you're doing it a little bit. You're playing the game, but I will let that slide because, you know, people like to use instrumentals to do their own thing, and you want other people to use your work. I can let that slide. It's still the same thing, but I can let that slide. But French Montana, your entire audience is 30 and up. You expect me to believe that they're asking for a slowed and sped up version?
Facts. He's trying to market to TikTok people, but they're all like 15. Why the hell are you pandering to them? He used to be like a mixtape artist. How old is French Montana? 39. Bro is pushing 40, and he's dropping 40 different versions of songs sped up, slowed down, a cappella, moaning in the mic, the outtakes, OnlyFans sex tape, just to appease 12-year-olds, bro. They're not listening to you, bro. They're listening to Osama son.
Version of your entire album, bro. Your entire audience is not on TikTok. It just, like, stop it, bro. Come on now. And truth be told, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not. Like, I don't want this to be like me trying to start a revolution. It's really not that deep. It's just a bad look in my opinion. It just looks really, really bad when you got to drop 40 versions of a song to boost your sales. Like, aren't you a big dog? Especially with these rappers. Because y'all rappers all claim to be big dogs. Y'all getting this money. You him, you this, you that. Ain't nobody messing with you. But you dropped 7 versions of your song, brother. It sounds like you need some help. Like, you know, you got all this money. You got all, like, why are you doing? It's just a bad look in my opinion. It's just a bad look. It's really not that serious. It's not that deep. I don't want anyone to leave this video mad or anything like that, because you can really just go in and ignore the Nightcore chopped and screwed version of I'm Geeking and just listen to the original for some reason if you want to do that. I don't know why, but like, it's just.
I get why some artists do it, because there are TikTok songs that are sped up and these kids do want to listen to the sped up versions, but he's right. Like, none of these songs were going viral for French Montana. So why would you drop like sped up versions? You have to, like, if there's demand for it, sure. But I assure you, nobody's listening to French Montana sped up versions on TikTok. Same age as Braun, he doing this. Yeah, LeBron ain't dropping sped up versions. We'll know LeBron fell off and he's washed when he starts dropping chopped and screwed versions of his songs.